Everybody, hello, how is it going? Good evening, good evening. I'm so excited to introduce to you Rose Lejiste. It is the Phenomenal STEMist. I'll give you some time to come on, everyone. And already I'm gonna do some homework, some homework. Remember, guys, those of you who are watching, you gotta buy that book, Phenomenal STEMist. It's available on Amazon. If you want to see me personally, I'll get you one as well, autographed. But that's all I want to say about me. I want to really discuss an awesome career from Rose Lejiste. She is a techpreneur. Techpreneur. I'm like, okay, techpreneur. What is a techpreneur? But we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. Welcome everybody. I see you coming on the Phenomenal STEMist. Good evening, everyone. You know, Rose, my number one fan, has to come on. That's my
Yeah, I
mother.
see. I already saw her.
Like, hey,
I
but
said I said she is right on time.
yeah, right on time, right, ready to watch and share.
Mhm.
All right, so everyone, Rose Legie, she's a CEO of RL Engineering and Tech Solutions. She received her bachelor's in of science in industrial engineering from University of Central Florida. She is also one of the executives of Black Orlando Tech. This is actually how I met her. And I am just elated to have a conversation with you, discussing how those of my viewers who are watching can become a techpreneur. Yeah. So
Awesome.
we're gonna get right into my question for this afternoon. I see people watching. Don't forget, tell me where you're watching from. All right. So, First question. When did you fall in love with your discipline? When did you fall in love with your discipline?
So, a little background. I um from South Florida, and the high school that we went to really pushed business and finance. And so when I graduated, my actual major coming into UCF was finance because I love numbers. I was great at numbers, and I just was like, okay, money, I'm going to get into that. Why not? I came into UCF. I was part of a program called Lead Scholars, and one of the benefits of Lead Scholars is we were able to work within our college if we wanted to. Most people went to their college that they were studying in. We were able to get jobs on campus, and so again, this was business. Everybody was in business when I came in to college in 2000, and so all the open positions were done, and they came to me. They're like, "Look, we still have open positions in the engineering college of engineering that we need people to
Mm,
support because hardly anybody was doing engineering." So I was like, you know what, I'll do it. And so I got connected with the College of Engineering, the administration office. And so I worked in the admin office, and one of my jobs was to work orientation and take the parents and students during orientation days, take them to the different discussions and talks they were having. And I want to say this was early in my sophomore year, so this was like year two, early in my sophomore year, and I took them to a discussion with Pamela McCauley. That time she was Pamela McCauley Bell, and she
okay.
was this black woman who was a had her PhD in industrial engineering, first in Oklahoma, in the state of Oklahoma, first black woman to get her PhD in industrial engineering. And I heard this beautiful, I mean, she was amazing. She was beautiful. She had her hair did, high heels. I mean, she was like, she was okay. I mean, I love just fell in love with her. And listening to her speak, that was the first time I ever seen a black person who was an engineer. Not only was she black, she was a black female, and she did not fit the bill of a engineer. Like she didn't look like an engineer. She had high heels, she had her hair done and it was wavy, lipstick and everything. And I just fell in love with her. And I listened to her speak and I was like, and the way she was speaking about industrial engineering, I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I've always been a problem solver. And the things like, if you like problem solving, if you like finding solutions, if you like making things better. And as she went down the list, I was like, this is on me. And so now it's like it's something that fit exactly who I was. And then there was somebody who looked like me. And to
Mm,
me, it was like confirmation that this is where I needed to be. And I switched my major within, I want to say within 2 weeks of first seeing her. I switched
wow.
it. And then I learned more about her story. I mean, she had a child when she was 15. So it wasn't like she was like born with a silver or gold spoon and just had the easiest time making it. No, she conquered all of that with all, whatever roadblocks had been put in front of her. She conquered it and made it and was here. And that was even more empowering to me. And so I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I never looked back since
That's
I
amazing.
got into it. Yeah,
She had the grit to push through anything, and you identified with that.
big time.
And that's why these interviews are important. That's
Mhm.
why I have on the first Sunday of every month somebody who works in science, technology, engineering, and math who is of color, male and female. I love to do every other. So if I did a male last time, I have to find a female. And that's you're it. And because there are people who sometimes don't know what they want to do, don't
Mhm.
know their options,
Mhm.
or they actually know what they want to do, but because they don't see people accomplish it, when it starts to get difficult,
It does.
they believe that, well, nobody I know has accomplished this that looks like me, so maybe it's just not for people like me. So when I give these kind of stories, these interviews, it's so that people can see examples, and you're a classic example of the reason why you changed your major is because of an example.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. There are
Mhm.
still role models out there. Absolutely, mom. There are models out there, and the more role models come out and show their journey, the more inspiration there will be, especially just to people of color. Absolutely.
And
Um. Mhm.
I was gonna say I do believe she was placed in my life for a reason because um I I have a daughter. I'm a mother to a soon to be 19-year-old. I got pregnant my end of my sophomore year, had her my beginning of my junior year. And
Mhm.
so first things people were telling me were number one, you're not gonna make it. I was like one of two black uh women in the industrial engineering program. Okay. And I think there was a handful of black people, period. So now I'm going to be a single mom. I'm a black female. If you're talking about having some, I don't even want to call them.
Roadblocks, or yeah,
Yes.
not roadblocks, but obstacles, and yeah, not
Yeah.
even not call your daughter an obstacle. I get your point, but
You know what? I used to call it a roadblock. After you go through it, I realized it's what pushed me. Because
yeah.
of her is what pushed me. Because I had everybody saying, "Oh, you might as well just drop out." It pushed me because I had so much against me. It made me try stronger. So every time I did something, even if it was in, going through college and finishing up, going through my career as a engineer, at Kennedy Space Center, I did 200% because there was no failing for me. Like that,
Mhm.
it was. And so I call them my, I don't want to call them roadblocks anymore. I want to
Yeah,
call them my ignition, my igniters. That is
yeah.
what ignited for me to be who I am today. And so I just feel like it was all laid out. It was all planned. I had to meet her because, he knew what was going to happen to me down the line. And then boom, everything fit into place. She was my role model. She was my mentor. She like really encouraged me. And that's how I went through it, graduated, got my degree in IE with a kid, and
Mhm.
then started up, had an internship with a small engineering company who had a contract with Kennedy Space Center and then got hired by them.
Mercy.
Just steps, just laying it out.
I love it. I love
Exactly.
it. Love it. Love it. And that can happen to you too. Those of you who are watching,
Mhm.
I'm telling you, watch your steps get ordered. Next question.
Mm.
Next question.
Mhm.
What tools did you use to discipline yourself to succeed? So you went to University of Central Florida to get to receive your bachelor's degree there in
Mhm.
science,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
How did you discipline yourself?
So again, I when I first so even in high school, growing up, I never had to study. I literally just made like I made my A's. I never had to study. I didn't have to study for real until I got to college.
College.
Yes. And even that first year, I was partying, I was having fun, still maintaining, was still getting straight A's. But I had to get myself together when I found out I was pregnant. I was about to bring this child into this world. And what
Mhm.
I had to do was number one, anchor myself to my faith. So that is if you want to consider that a tool, whatever, that is one of the things that really kept me going, anchor myself to something greater that I knew I could count on because I could not count on myself or anybody else because all my friends, they didn't have kids. And my family, I'm the oldest, I'm the first to do everything. They were upset. They were upset with me with what getting pregnant. And so I realized that I had to anchor myself to something to continue. And then I focused. I Thank goodness I had such support from, even though we always talk about it, like, if I had the chance to do it all over again, would I go to HBCU? And only reason I struggle with it is because of the amazing Black and Brown individuals that I met, and even those of that were not POC over in college who helped me. I mean,
Mhm.
they when um, uh, scholarship came about, they told me about it. When opportunities came about, they made sure I knew about it and I was placed in front of it. So, having that village,
Mhm.
having that mentorship, um, and then taking advantage of just the different opportunities that were out there. I remember getting scholarships because, people did not want to do the essays.
Mm.
And
Tell
I'm
me
like,
about it.
I know. And I'm getting scholarships because nobody wanted to finish and complete the essays. I remember I pushed back my graduation a semester because I did not want to leave and graduate without work experience. So I hustled and bustled, and I remember hours and hours looking for an internship. And because I pushed back, my last semester got the internship. And
Mhm.
that is what allowed me to get hired on by them. I remember fellow students who never worked, got straight A's, graduated magna cum laude and all this other stuff, but they
No
could not
job.
get a position because they had no work experience. And how did I know that? Because of my mentors, because of the individuals who I made sure I connected with, who were like, Rose, you gotta, what they're looking at is the work experience that you have. You can have straight A's, but if you have no experience and no soft skills or anything like that, they don't have the time to teach you that. They want, that you need to be at some type of, at least at this level to continue on. And so I did that. As I went throughout my career, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. But when you do, what did was put myself in outside of the box situations that typically wouldn't have. And then I found out the stuff that I didn't know,
Mhm.
and I would see, so I would say if I'm like, okay, I want to be in this department. I would connect with people in that department. I would see what they did. I'd see what certifications they had, what they understood, and I would learn those in on my
Mhm.
spare time. So it's just so many different things that are out there. As you just got to use the tools that are going to get you to where your goal is or your next step is.
And it's amazing. The tools that you gave me weren't um, disciplinary tools that involve getting A's in school. You gave me
Mhm.
disciplinary tools that caused you to be successful in life. Your
Mhm.
faith,
Mhm.
giving you, making you grounded, and people,
Mhm.
networking with people, a
Mhm.
village of gathering together, a village of people that will guide you through the process. And
Mhm.
truthfully, it's those type of skills. Like you said, there are so many people who are straight A students that cannot find jobs, and they're a little bitter about it because they
Mhm.
thought as long as they were smart, they will should get hired.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But
Exactly.
these tools that you're giving me, an internship, for instance, it's
Mhm.
so crucial to get an internship while you're in college. It's not, when we say it's not about what you know, but who
It's,
you know,
it is.
there's some truth
Exactly.
to that. There's some truth, and so use tools not just to do well in school, in terms of the grades, but learning skills,
Mm.
soft
Yep.
skills, and a lot of that required. So faith is a benefit.
It is.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Uh,
Exactly.
All right, so I have another question. What were your challenges? Like you gave me a little bit of challenge, but
Mhm.
what were you? What were your challenges in school?
So my challenges, challenges was balance because, again, you have to do the schooling, but you also have to be well-rounded, and take part in activities, take part in groups. And then for me, I was raising a child. So how do you balance all of those things within your world? So that was the biggest thing. The other is identifying what path you want to take. And it goes to not relying 100% on others to do for you. And I think that's one of the things that is, I want a lot of current college students to understand is that not, I think it's like, well, the college said that they were going to do this for me, or they were going to find the internship, and it's like, no, you got to do the work. And I need them to understand that in order for you to get to where you need to go, you have to do the work and keep that trajectory. And if you
Mm,
don't keep it, then you're going to wind up somewhere that you don't want to be. The other is making sure that what you're going into for your major is what you want. I went into
mm,
finance. I thought that's what I wanted, but everybody was doing finance. I did not realize the lead scholars opportunity gave me an opportunity to um, look into other majors. And for whatever reason, the students now are not getting that. They're not testing out other stuff, you know,
mhm,
trying out other things. And so that's what I say. Just when you come in, definitely look at other majors, look at other disciplines, look at and see what fits you. And the other thing is not to always. Um, you don't have to go down just one path. If you look at my LinkedIn, one of my titles is Tech Unicorn. I truly believe that everybody is born a unicorn. I think what it is we're trying so hard to fit into a box. We're trying so hard to fit into what society thinks that we make ourselves basic. Like we make ourselves into this Stepford wives, everybody looks the same type of stuff.
same cookie cutter.
Exactly. But we were all born unicorns. We're all born with this amazing, our own uniqueness and our unique abilities. And I encourage everybody, those students to continue with that. So when I went in, like right now, I have a degree in industrial engineering, but I have certification in business intelligence. I'm certified in data analytics. I'm going right now to get certified in robotic process automation. I've made myself this unicorn where I'm not this one trick pony
Yes,
and I
yes.
move around it. And now when I come into a space, I'm coming with multiple perspectives, not just the one.
Wow.
And so
That's
now
amazing.
I can really, I feel like the things that I work on, the solutions that I create are even better because I'm not just this, I don't have this tunnel vision. I'm just this. well-rounded, multiple perspectives. And I think that's key when it comes to providing solutions to people's problems. You have to look at a holistic view, not just this one piece. You have to look at everything, and that way you make sure your client is getting the best that they need.
You're blowing people's minds out there. David's like, wow. Like, but what you're saying is so true. What you're saying is so true. And when you first started, you were pigeonholed. You didn't know what you
Yes,
didn't know. And you were
exactly.
probably going based on what you heard was popular,
Exactly.
especially in especially when many people around you may not know or may be pigeonholed. Like
Hmm.
we're from Caribbean cultures, and a lot of the
Yes.
times they're like focused heavily on you're going to be a doctor or a
Mhm.
nurse. You know.
Doctor, nurse, lawyer, engineer. I have my own business now. My mom did not know I had left my job and started my own business until I got to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm good now. She can't say nothing. Like I'm making money, I'm doing good. Then I told her, and she was like, "When'd you leave your job?" I was like, the early I couldn't tell her because it was that's not part of the list. Being a business owner is not on there. She
It's not
wanted
on that list.
security. Yeah, she wanted for her daughter, she wanted security. And
Yeah.
to her, it was like you gotta have a job with a 401k and benefits.
Listen, I
And
told one of my friends that, but like I've come to realize the vision, because the reality is, we are growing, and in order to progress as a people, we
mhm,
have to have our own businesses.
we do.
It's
We
not enough
do.
to just work for somebody else. And
Yep.
it's coming from a place of fear, wanting you to be secure, wanting you to have security for the
Mhm,
future. But what I'm realizing is being versatile in many things and
mhm.
having your own is real
Yeah,
security.
it is.
It's
It
real
is.
security.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Next question. Next question. What are your challenges now?
My challenge is now, oh, this is okay. I am the oldest. I'm the firstborn here. I am used to helping others. I am not
Mm,
used to asking for help. I'll tell you, I didn't even know how to ask for help. You know, I'm just used to making it. I make it how I make it. I tell everybody I don't know how it happens, but I'm used to doing it myself. And so one of the things my challenge is learning that I can't do it all, and I have to release some of that, and so that way I could truly flourish in my purpose. And so even with building my business, um I know that my strength is in um, connecting with people, networking, business development. My strength is not finance, but legal. It's not HR. It's not payroll. It's not social media marketing. I know. So those are the areas that I have to realize that I understand this is my baby, but I have to bring on a team. And that's what I'm working on now. So being
mm,
okay with accepting help from others, that's the biggest one. And I'm slowly working on that. The other problem is being, again, it is in line with self care, and again, going back to our Caribbean household and our Caribbean culture, it's taboo, especially in my culture. So my people are Haitian,
mhm.
and it's taboo to get mental health, and work on it and see a therapist. But I knew that I had to work on some things for myself
Yeah.
within me in order to become a business owner, a tech founder, because that's another level. That's a whole different mindset. And I got to get myself right in order to truly walk into the purpose that I know that He has for me. I know that I'm going to have multiple businesses. I already know that,
Mhm.
because it's not just providing a legacy from my family. When you were talking about it before, that we have to do this, it's also the things that I want to see, the changes I want to see in our community. It also comes from us. So when
Yes.
we sit there, we talk about um, teaching our young folks certain stuff like soft skills. Who's going to do it but us? So now I want to build businesses where I can hire our kids and I can give them opportunities to intern when they're in high school, when they're in college, and gain these skills that they're going to need to be, those unicorns and out there in in our world, and really plant some seeds. And so I know it's not just going to be this one business for me. I know it's going to be multiple. You gotta you got to be at a certain mindset in order to be
Yes.
ready for that.
Yeah.
And ain't no way I was going to be able to get to there by myself. And
Mhm.
so that is why I had to go and I said, I need to see a therapist. And I need somebody to talk to. And I need somebody I could confide in with my fears. Because as strong as I am fearful of failing. That's my
Mhm.
biggest thing. I am terrified of failing. um I'm terrified of not fulfilling what's in my heart because it's so big in me. I can feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's that hunger. When you hunger for something like this, it don't leave you. I
Yeah.
mean, and if you don't really tap into it, you kind of get antsy. You kind of feel some type of way. And so that was the other challenge for me, is to be okay with myself and know that there's nothing wrong with me. You don't have to, seeing a therapist doesn't mean that you're broken or anything like that. It's you improving. It's me ensuring that I am better today than I was yesterday. Period.
Amazing. I think what you're saying is so true. And so many of our challenges as career professionals, we don't seek help, whether it be to team members, to fund, not even fund, but just push our business forward. I think there's a classic meme: if you want to go fast, you go by yourself, but if you want to
Hmm.
go far, you go together. You bring a tribe. You bring a
Exactly.
lioness pride. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
you need that. And one of our major portions of our tribe, our village, is mental health
Mhm.
therapists. Absolutely. I encourage anybody who is working, they have access to their EAP to get at least six
Mhm.
to eight sessions
You
for
know
free.
how many people don't know that they have that? That's how
Most
I
people
got
don't.
started. I mean, I got it, and then you can renew it every year. I
You can
mean,
renew it every year.
you really can. And so not a lot of people understand that. They don't tap into those resources and those benefits.
It's necessary. It's necessary,
Mhm.
especially like what you're saying. When you want to do big things, you have a great vision. With that comes
Mhm.
self-care and very important tools to manage your spirit as you move
Mhm.
through this.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
Lorna's watching and she says, that's right, EAP is needed. Thanks for the reminder. Listen, and
Mhm.
if you don't exactly get what you can renew it even within the year. Let's just give you
You
a
do.
hint from the people who, from my friends who know how to work the system. Like, if you have a different issue, you can renew it and in the year. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Listen,
Exactly.
use your resources that
Sis.
the job is giving for free.
Yes.
EAP. You need help. Don't be afraid to accept help, and that moves through college. So many students, they don't want to go to tutoring. They don't want to go to their professor's office hours because they don't want to admit that they need help. But I'm telling you, it's those resources that are provided for you. Those of you in college, you have actually counseling available in college. There are resources. I tell my students all the time, use your resources. Yeah, last question. Last question. I'm so excited about this interview, Rose. Thank you so much for doing this with me. What is your favorite part of your career? What's your favorite part of your career now?
Two things. One, with my because I have my business, and I also have Black Orlando Tech, which I'm the executive director of, and it's a nonprofit. with my business, I like being able to control my have control of where I'm going, who I work with, what I do. Many times, um, you know, you're being a black female, being even being a female first generation here in the U.S. We run into you know hostile environments. I like that I'm not. Like I'm doing the same work. So the way I work this is everything. I'm big on strategy. I'm a strategy queen, and so I even had a transition or exit strategy for my from become being an employee in the corporate world to being a tech CEO or tech entrepreneur.
Can you
And
actually tell me exactly what you actually do before
yeah,
you go into like, yeah, what,
okay.
yeah.
So so my business, this the our expertise is in data analytics,
Okay.
business intelligence, um, risk reliability engineering, business optimization. And so we have a number, and also work on proposals. So my main clients are government or government contractors, and also some commercial, large commercial businesses. And what I basically do is identify areas within their system or their process or their company where they need improvement. Either they are um, losing man hours because of some process that they need to improve on. They're not utilizing their data correctly. It could be applied to anywhere. I am looking at their processes, identifying issues, and then providing them solutions to fix that issue or improve on it. And so when we talk about waste, waste in inventory, waste in man hours, when you're talking about just any type of area that you want to improve, that's what I work on. Also do proposal work for government contracts. I write proposals, work on proposals, all the different aspects of proposals. I do that. And then for reliability engineering, it is identifying any failures or hazards within a project, within a new system that's being brought on, identifying and then mitigating and providing mitigating solutions to the client for those. So we have a number of different areas that that I provide solutions for, but it's overall I am a problem solver.
Problem solver. That's what you said. That's
That's
what you
exactly
said
what
earlier. That's what you said earlier. Like when you heard
it
your mentors, like that's what I want to do because I like to solve problems. So
I
whenever
like
there's
it.
something going on, I never forget. I had somebody with a similar. I think she worked for Humana, where and all it required was a bachelor's degree and certifications, just like what you have. When you have assembly line of planes and you have
Exactly.
the bolts that are needed to build up the plane, and you have to have 100,000 bolts. If
Exactly.
one of those bolts are missing, or 10 of those bolts are missing, that percentage is like a small percentage, but you'll be surprised how that can cause such a great problem.
And that is where the reliability engineering comes, because we identify critical assets. That bolt would be
Yeah.
considered a critical asset because
Right.
even though it's this tiny and it,
Hmm.
probably cost, not maybe not that much, it missing from a plane, what could happen is critical failure. And
That's
so
right.
identifying that, and you can't see that by just looking at the assembly line or looking at the plane. You got to draw this graph and you got to draw the processes, and you're like, well, if this is missing, how does it impact down the lane? What does it do? And that's where you do your analysis. But yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's some powerful things that you're doing.
Yep.
And you like, go ahead and continue. I said you were saying
Yes.
that you like the fact that you did that when you were working for somebody. You do that now without
Thank
drama.
thank you. I mean, think about it. I am doing so. One of the things I was able to do is my first client is who I worked for before.
Wow.
And so now I own my own business and I'm doing the same things that I was doing for the last, you know, 3 years before, and I'm getting paid more money for it. You get what I'm saying? And I'm
Techpreneur,
working,
techpreneur.
listen, and I'm working half the time. And so that is
Wow.
what we talk about strategy, doing these strategies and really making these, taking advantage of these opportunities. So that's that. I like making my own time. I like being my own boss. I love it. Like I command my day. I love that. The other thing with the Black Orlando Tech, I like helping my people.
Hmm.
That is, when we talk about the gifts that God, God gives you, one of my gifts is service. I love to be of service, and especially to the underdog and those in
Hmm.
underrepresented communities. Why? Because I love to see them win.
Yeah.
Because I know the gold, I know the unicorns that exist in there. When we talk about innovation, innovation does not come from, oh, I'm bored and I just want to do something. Innovation comes, I this is a problem. I need to fix it.
So I don't suffer. Like Eli Whitney didn't really create the cotton gin. It was one of
Yeah,
his slaves. You
exactly.
know what I'm saying?
That is where innovation comes from. It comes from a place of, we need to fix this. This is a problem for us. And so where does that really come from? From the people who experience these problems, not from folks who
Yeah.
have a ton of money and ain't got a problem in the world. And
Right.
so I know, so we got to understand who really can come out with these real deal innovations, these newfound tech, ways and things like that. We got to understand where that comes from. That comes from those communities, and we see it all the time. We could think back to our childhood where we did things that we are now seeing people getting paid millions of dollars for
Yep.
doing the same thing. So how
Yep.
do we tap into that? How do we stop that to where we say that we stop giving away our ideas, stop not sitting on things that we've invented because we don't think it's going to happen. I like to use this as an example. The guy, the pillow pets person, who would have ever thought somebody inventing pillow pets, pets or pillows made into like, your dog and your cat
Doggy. Yeah.
being $1 million business.
Mm.
You know how many times would we have looked at and be like, I ain't gonna make no money. Come on now. So we need to stop doing that. And that's just an example. We have somewhere it's like, you never think about it. That's how we need. So how do we educate? How do
Hmm.
we, number one, not only educate, how do we make sure you protect yourself? Okay, you got this idea, trademark.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, Black Lives Matter got trademark, and it wasn't by a black or a person of color. And it
Wow.
wasn't somebody from in the US. Look it up. That got
Wow.
how long had that been going on? And it got trademark, I want to say last year, from a white male, and I believe in Europe,
Wow.
because nobody else did it.
Wow.
Those are the type of things we need to stop doing. And so Black Orlando Tech allows me to be of service to our community. Getting them, one of the biggest thing in my belief in Black Orlando Techs and our leadership is we have to advance our economic status. That's going to be one of the ways that we really truly start being, getting ourselves in the game. And how do we do that? I believe that it's tech. Why? Because you
Hmm.
can get into tech and not need to go back for a 4-year degree. We got folks, we have kids who don't go to college. They get a coding, like they go to a coding boot camp for 6 to 9 months and come out and they are hounded by the government agencies, these tech companies being offered six-figure dollar amounts, and these kids
Yep.
are 19 years old because they know how to code.
Yep.
They didn't have no degree. So
Yep.
how do we get our folks into that? And the other thing is you could start from any place. You don't have to be young. You don't
Nope.
have to be in college. You can pivot into tech from anywhere. And we have things like that happening. We have an example, young lady, um, paralegal, did Salesforce administration certification and then within a year from her getting that certification, because I think it took her a few months to get it, and within a year pivoted into tech from being
Hmm.
a paralegal and more than doubled her salary.
That's right.
1 year going through our program. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And there's so many people that can't go back to school for 4 years.
Exactly.
Don't
Some people
want
don't
to be in don't
want
want
to.
to be in school for 4 years,
Yeah. I
right?
mean, yeah.
And especially men of African descent, African American men who want to
Yep.
provide for their families. And
Exactly.
this is not a knock to education, because trust me,
At all.
I
Everybody,
believe in it,
we need our
and
doctors.
we need our doctors.
We need
We
our
need,
PhDs. We need our masters. We need all of that. Everybody has a different role that they got to play. You
but
just got to understand. Go ahead.
just know that you don't have to be stuck in a job that you hate. Just
Exactly.
know that you can transition yourself into a position of power in technology, and it will
Exactly.
not require you to sit in somebody's classroom for 4 years if you don't
Exactly.
want to.
Exactly. But it could also provide you the opportunity to say, okay, you know what? They can still go to school, but now they're in tech. They got money. They're paying off their bills. They're setting up their kids. Now they have enough money flowing in their household to open doors that they never thought they could have opened.
Right. Right.
Period. And that's what we want. That's what
That's
we
what
need
we
to
want.
happen.
Listen, I'm loving this interview. This is Rose Lejiste. She really has opened my mind about entrepreneurship. Not everybody should be an entrepreneur, but those of you who have the grit and the belief and the mental capacity and the passion, I believe many should consider entrepreneurship. And I've dabbled in it on the side. I'm not. I
Mhm.
think. I think. I think everyone should have some type of empowering business,
Mhm.
and tech. Phenomenal STEMist, T for technology, like,
Exactly.
is, in my opinion, one of the major ways. So I am the phenomenal STEMist, and so is she. Good night, everybody. This has been an awesome conversation. You guys have a great night.
Thank you.